From the streets of Staten Island to the sold-out arenas around the world, you know him as one of the masterminds behind Impractical Jokers. He's the man who has faced punishments that most of us would not survive. He went from terrified to all of a sudden everything is fine. And he's hitting cities all around the U.S. with his new comedy tour. Let's welcome in the one and only, Sal Vulcano. What's going on, Sal?
I have to tell you, best intro I've ever had.
Oh, beautiful. Maybe,
that was so cool. You got me psyched up for myself.
Maybe I need to come out on the road with you, man. I could be the MC.
Yeah, you should introduce me on every night on stage. Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Ladies and gentlemen. All right, well, let's get into this, Sal, because I am kind of confused. I watched the HBO special where you were terrified talking about all your fears, and now all of a sudden everything is fine. This is a big shift in tone. Almost like you went from admitting your fears to maybe convincing us now that everything is okay. Is that what's going on here?
I love that you asked that because no one has yet. And that everything's fine is sarcastic.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems like it's not fine.
The tour poster is me on stage and the stage is burning down around me. So, no. That's a little tongue in cheek there. Yeah, it's a little more of the same.
And I see, Sal, that you're heading to Utah as one of the dates. Are you bringing in some extra security? I figured everything would be safe in that Mormon state, but have you? I know you're a Staten Island guy, so you can probably handle your own. But has the recent situation caused you to think maybe you need to beef up some security on this tour?
No, I don't really think I'm not really adjacent to politics in any way. I'm not political on stage, or I'm not controversial. Yeah, that was horrific, obviously. But I don't think I'm in that kind of purview. But I mean, look, I hope that's just to even, just the fact that you are asking that question says something about, the current state of society that we're in. So, some things, for me, you come see me, it's escapism, it's light, it's funny, it's relatable, that kind of thing. But I think, we all have to do a lot better in light of the things that we're seeing going on like that, for sure.
Make sure you get your tickets to go see Sal. His big tour is going on as we speak. He's going to be out on the West Coast. He's coming to Florida. You can find out all the tour dates by just going to his website. It is salvulcanocomedy.com. I want to go back to the genesis, the beginning, before the tours, before selling out Madison Square Garden. What was the moment that you felt like you got your big break into show business when you realized, hey, this comedy thing could be a real job?
Yeah, I mean, well, you speaking stand-up or just in general?
Just in general, like what was the big break when you were like, wow, I can't believe it. I went from Staten Island. Look at me now. What was that big break?
Yeah, sure. Well, we were doing comedy a really long time before we got that break, like 12 years before our very first break, which was we won this online competition, which was like a battle of the sketch comedy troops for NBC. And that's how we got an agent. And then from that, we started to pitch shows, and we pitched a lot, but this one was just lightning in a bottle. We had a pitch meetings with a whole bunch of networks, and we had no ideas. They call them general meetings. So it's like you go in, you talk to them, they get to know you, and they keep you in mind for things. We said, why don't we go in with ideas now? Why don't we skip this one step? And so we had some lunch, and we thought of 3 ideas. One of them was Jokers. We went and we filmed it on our cell phones later that week in the city. It was the 4 of us. We filmed on our cell phones. We cut that together. We brought that into the meeting, and that sold in the room. To give you an idea of how rare that is, I probably pitched 100 shows, and I've had one other show get picked up, and nothing's ever sold in the room. So it was just the opportunity meets the right thing for us at the right time and luck. And when we got approved to have a show on the air, that's when I was like, I felt like I won the lottery. I couldn't believe it. And that's just getting on. To have come, 12 seasons and 14 years and 300 episodes later, I could have never imagined. So, just feel very lucky about that.
You've come a long way since delivering pizzas in the D's Nuts spray-painted cars. Is that true that you used to deliver pizzas in a car that had the phrase D's Nuts on the side of it? Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't know how you know that. But I delivered it all through college. I delivered pizza. I never forget that because my car, I crashed my car that my dad got me my first car. It was like $1,100. I crashed it, but that was my livelihood because I delivered pizza. My boss at the time, he was so kind, that there was a mechanic shop across the street, and there's like an old beater out there. It was like $550, and he bought it for me, and I paid him back little by little, and I delivered pizza to that. My friend thought it'd be funny to take like, white masking tape and like decal the car up, and on the windshield they put these nuts on there, and I used to I thought it was just funny, So on the back windshield they put "Caught You Looking," and they put lightning bolts and racing stripes on. I would drive around like that. People got a kick out of it.
Did you ever pick up a date? Did you ever have any dates in that car? I'm wondering what kind of woman would get into a car that says "D's nuts" on the side of it.
Luckily, I believe I was dating someone at the time. Otherwise, I don't think I would have found anybody.
We're talking with Sal Vulcano. He's got a new comedy tour where he's coming to a city near you. It's called Everything Is Fine Tour. You can get your tickets by checking him out on Instagram or go to his website, salvulcanocomedy.com. A lot of big fans of this show, Impractical Jokers. I'm curious how you guys always make these sketches fresh. How do the Tenderloins actually come up with these ideas? Do you guys have a writer's room? Is it just the four of you throwing stuff at the wall? And has this evolved since you guys came up with your first sketches to where it is now, season 12?
Oh, man, all the above. When we first started out, it was just the four of us writing. We didn't even have an office. We would write in the waiting room of the production offices on the couch with our laptops on our laps. And then after season 1, we got 2 writers. And then in season 3, I believe we got up to 5 writers. And a lot of the people that are with us now have been with us that long. We actually push to make sure that we evolve the show and we change the show. We challenge ourselves every single season. Before we start, we meet for 4 to 6 weeks in a writer's room, and we really dig in, throw everything at the wall, and just try to make sure that, even for us, like we want to come in and try new things and stuff. So we want to keep it fresh. And I think we've done a good job of doing that because everyone is, focused on doing that. And we want the show to have longevity and stuff. So it's a tough process, but it's actually my favorite process. It is fun to be in the moment and go do that. But I love the figuring out of it all. Like that kind of like tweak this, or what if we did that, or change this, or like if someone has an idea but it's not working, how do we make it work? And so that whole process is like where that season is really born, and then we go and shoot it. So we have great people that really know our sensibilities, that are close to us, and they work on us. We all work together on it.
Knowing how popular the show is, I always kind of tell my kids if I got a big interview coming up, so I mentioned that you were coming on, and they, I can tell that this show is massive the way my 2 children lost their friggin' minds. They both brought up this meme. I guess you're a part of some massive popular meme. Are you familiar with this meme?
Yeah, I have had I guess it's good fortune of being part of about 4 very, very big memes. I was not a meme person or in the meme world prior.
You don't seem like a meme guy, Sal.
Yeah, but it has taken the memes are phenomenal to me because they are. So I am popular with college and high school kids right now for 2 reasons. One is the memes. One is because our show became like a family co-viewing show. And so these families have been watching it with these kids since the kids are, some jokes are for the adults, some go over the kids' heads, but they've been watching it with the kids 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. And now these kids are 17, 20, 23 years old. And they're finally, they are individuals that can come see a show on their own. And so like those seeds that were planted long ago, these kids are coming to my show now. And then of course, TikTok has made me a meme god. And so like a lot of people know me from the memes that come to the show, and not even like, if anything else, the show. It's very wild. So I think you're talking, there's a few of them. I think you may be talking about one where I say my name is Tonka Jahari. Is that the one?
I'm not sure.
Is the meme of my big face?
I just know that when I mentioned your name, both kids were like, you got to talk to him about the meme. This guy, we love Impractical Jokers. They lit up like a Christmas tree when I told them I was going to talk to you.
That's great to hear. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
And knowing how popular you guys are with this show, how difficult is that now when you're trying to go out and do a sketch to where you don't get caught? You're trying to do something funny and catch somebody off guard. How often does your plans get spoiled because they're like, I know who you are. I love this show.
Yeah, we didn't have to deal with that in season 1, obviously. And then it's got, subsequently more difficult. But we shoot in New York City, which is very dense with people in every, like street corner, like 200 people pass, you know what I mean? So that's a benefit. It takes a little longer, and we don't use anyone who recognizes us. But at this point, we kind of wrote the book on that. Like even when for hidden camera, like even when we're doing, we're giving speeches at offices or training people or doing focus groups, we have all these techniques we do to vet people ahead of time before we even book them to come in to make sure they don't know who we are. So, the answer is it is difficult and it can make a day longer. But it's something that is part of the gears of making the show. So we're prepared for it.
You've really become a part of this new wave of comedians that are just doing real powerful, great crowd work. And it can be fantastic when it's done right, and it can be terrible when it goes wrong. But in your opinion, what is the right way to do crowd work, and what makes it work for you on stage? Because you do a lot of that in your show.
Yeah, when you come see me, I have a full 1 hour active material. The thing is that the landscape of our business has changed over the last few years, and you really got to promote yourself on your own socials and engage with your audience. So we don't put up the clips of our material because that would burn and show the material before you come to the show, right? It doesn't make sense. So crowd work has now been the new way of going and recording something that is in the moment and is not your material that you're repeating again, and then still being able to show people something funny and promote and not waste anything, essentially. So I love to do it for, that reason, but also I always warm up with crowd work in the beginning just to kind of like loosen everybody up and really engage with the crowd. For me, it's not, I like it. It's like, I used to do improv, and I love mixing it up, and I love that spontaneity. So I come out with no agenda and just, talk to whoever wants to talk to me about whatever. It's not about like people shouting out or heckling or anything. It's more just kind of looking around the crowd and just engaging in the conversation and just seeing where it goes. And like a lot of times you can really make magic in those moments, just kind of talking to people. Most people are really, really interesting, and it's just a fun way to come out there and like just do it off the cuff and stuff. And so I like doing it. I mean, I don't really do anything mean-spirited or anything like that. It's just coming out and just finding something and sticking with it until you find that angle that is unique or funny that you can poke fun at, and just kind of like going with it. It's almost like kind of surfing in the moment with the crowd. And it works a different muscle than like, your written material. So, for me, I usually start the crowd off with like 10 to 15 minutes of crowd work, and then I'll go into the material. And it's good because it adds another, just like the show. I never know who I'm going to come across that day. And that's what keeps the show. It keeps us in the moment and listening, and it keeps the show fresh for us. Crowd work is good because you got to really be in the moment. And that's the best part of being on stage, that connection with the audience. So.
To me, one of the great improv comedians, one of the great comics of my lifetime, Don Rickles. You met him about 10 years ago. I saw on your Instagram a great picture with you shaking hands with the great Don Rickles. That must have been a wild night and a great moment for a comedian like yourself. Did he pass anything along with you that has stuck with you since the moment you met the great Don Rickles?
Yes, sir. It was, I have a picture of him in my house, and he signed it as like a prized possession of mine that I would take in a fire. You know what I mean? He's just one of the last of his kind that I grew up watching, that I just thought it was like an honor to be insulted by that man. And people didn't take themselves too seriously, and he set that tone. He kind of reminded me of my grandpa in that way, and that's kind of where I got my sense of humor. And I just love the fact that you can come into a room and no one takes himself too seriously. And I was lucky enough to play a theater that he was playing a couple of weeks later, and so I met the staff. I had tickets to this show. I want my dad and my wife, and he was so generous with his time. He performed for like a couple of hours, and then after that, man, it was like after midnight. And this was only 2 years before he passed, and he sat us down in his dressing room, and he took his time with me. He told me stories, gave me advice, and he asked my wife about how comedy has affected our relationship, and my dad about like what it was like me doing this and abandoning my old career. And he just was very interested, and to have someone of that caliber take the time to not just talk to you but have an interest in you, it's very inspiring and moving. So. And I take that with me, and I try to do that, with whoever might want to speak with me. I always keep things like that in mind because it meant the world to me. But I think the thing that he told me the most, which is not something that like is, a revelation, but it is it is the roots of every comedian, like finding your voice and finding your own point of view. And he just said, you just got to make sure that in every single moment on stage, you're telling them exactly who you are. It's a very strong point of view, and that's what differentiates you from people, the good comics from people, And some people think it's like coming out and, walking a line and skewering things that might be hot button issues. And that's one take on it. That's not like my style. I'm not really controversial or political or anything, but like I like to come out and like really have a strong point of view where they know like who I am and where I'm coming from. And, that's something that he said that I'll always take with me.
Go check out Sal Vulcano and his new comedy tour, Everything is Fine. He's hitting states like Ohio, going to be in California, coming to Chi-Town, also coming to Florida, and you can get your tickets by checking out his Instagram. He's got a link right on there to get your tickets. I'm a big fan of your No Press Network, these podcasts you were producing, especially the one you did called Taste Buds. I got to ask you, as you've been going from city to city, how's the local food been on the road, and what is the best dish you've had on this tour so far?
Oh boy. I mean, it's funny because when I go to these places and I do have time to go get dinner, I always ask the locals and seek out like a local place. Every place has their own like spots. So I eat well on the road, and that's something that I like to do with like the people that I take with me on the road. We go, and it's great to break bread like after a show and talk about the show and just like meet the people that are there. Oh my goodness, I've been to so many places now. There was one place, and I guess I can't remember offhand the name of the place. I wish I did in Minnesota. That was really unique and a wonderful meal. But offhand, it's hard. You know what I do? In my notes app, I keep a list of all the cities I've gone to and all the places I've been. So I can like return to them. So, I am always willing, by the way, if I post that I'm coming somewhere, one thing I always say to people, like on my Instagram or socials, if you want to hit me with any recs, they're always welcome. I usually ask them for them before I get to a city, and then I generally go and try out those places. So if anybody's listening to this and you see like online, I post my tour schedule, whatever, please always hit me with recommendations on where to eat, or even like just anything that's like, even museums, this, that, the other thing. Like that's the best for me. It's like when I would never see these places if it wasn't for this tour, So if I'm going to be in a place I'd never been before, I want to make the most of my time. So please hit me with any recs you got.
And speaking of the network, the No Press Network with the podcasts, Hey Babe was one that you were doing for a while. Are you going to be doing any more podcasts in the future? You got a new one dropping?
Yeah. One just came to mind. Burns Steakhouse in Tampa, Florida. It was a really old, really unique, really special place that I went that I recommend to everybody. It's just a different eating experience. It's really, really cool. I have two podcasts I've been doing for years called Taste Buds and Hey Babe. They're currently on a hiatus just because we all got other projects going on, but I'm starting this new talk show / podcast called Manoosh. Minoosh. It's basically short for minutia. And the concept is like really big guests, really small talk. And we're shooting that now. It'll start in the fall. Season 1 will start in the fall. And it's like a very absurd, tongue-in-cheek podcast that's mixed in with sketches and stuff, and it's like a surreal thing. And it's basically I want to get people in there and talk about things that you'd never hear them talk about. So like I'm getting Paul Rudd as a guest, and like one of the questions I asked him is, "You ever shove anybody on Black Friday?" You know what I mean? It's just like weird, fun, ridiculous stuff, kind of like that. So and then we go in and out of sketches and stuff, and the hope is to just try to do something completely different than what people have seen before in podcasting. So it's called Manoosh. It'll be premiering this fall.
All right, before we let you go, then I guess I got a couple of Manoosh questions. That's like definitely a Staten Island word, so I got to ask you about Staten Island. Yeah. The ferry, is it underrated? Is it an underrated adventure, or is it the world's longest free commute, in your opinion? And how often have you taken the ferry in Staten Island?
I've taken the ferry. There was a point in my life I took that thing every day for 5 years. I've taken it since I'm a kid. I still take it from time to time. The ferry has a very special place in my heart. It's free. It runs 24/7, 365. And you go through the New York Harbor for free. You pass right in front of the Statue of Liberty. They have food. You can get nice cold beer on there. You can sit outside. It's a hidden treasure. Like if you visit New York and you're on a budget, I always recommend the ferry to people. And it's just iconic. to Staten Island and to New York City and the harbor. So I have pictures of it in my home. Like I absolutely love it. So I can't recommend the ferry enough.
And if Staten Island had an official food other than pizza, what would it be?
Probably bagels. That's one thing that we have in spades that we do really, really well is pizza and bagels. And when I go on the road, honestly, like there is good pizza and bagels elsewhere, but none like at home.
You may say Wu-Tang, you may say Pete Davidson. I say the true king of Staten Island, Sal Vulcano. And make sure you go see his tour. Everything is fine. Don't worry about anything that's going on the internet. Sal's here to tell you everything is fine. And you will find that out if you go see his show at salvulcanocomedy.com. Hey, thanks for your time, Sal. Big fans of yours, and we look forward to more of season 12 and seeing you out on tour.
Too kind, man. Thank you so much for taking the time with me today.